Okay, now this, do I need this light? I was at the beach today, so I'm a little sandy and dusty and dirty. And of course, Zara threw water up in my face and splashing me and all this stuff. So I got sand and everything all over me, but I didn't get like in the water because it's just too darn cold. But anyhow, so whatever. You guys don't care about that. Be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. This whole Blasian thing, right, is kind of funny to me because I had someone, you know, again, and I hate being brutally honest, but that's all I know how to be is just honest. I'm just gonna say it. Um, so I was talking about there's this Japanese lady that only wants to date black dudes. I did a video talking about that, right? And she's from Japan, and she met a guy there, and they both liked each other, but they didn't pursue it. And that led to other videos after that because I had a Japanese guy saying that he didn't like it, and you had other people that were talking about it back and forth, right? Well, someone also left a comment saying that Asian women are only into white dudes. And then you had someone saying that Asian women are only go for black men after they've been married to a white guy and been done dirty, then they go for a black dude. You've had other people like myself who are saying, what? You have a lot of people who are saying, huh? And on Facebook, there's a few groups where there's Asian and black men groups, right? And you have a lot of dudes on there saying, man, none of these women want to talk to me. None of these women want to, say nothing. All there are dudes in here. Nobody's really saying anything. Or, a lot of these women, you talk to them, they won't reply back as if, they're supposed to. Like, here's the thing. There's something called the law of attraction. And I'm not the best looking guy ever. I don't pretend that, but attraction has a lot of different meanings. And so that's the first thing. Some of these people, I look at their profile and on Facebook or wherever, I look at their profile and I go in with an open mind. Some of these guys that say this, right? Because the women that they're trying to go for are like a 10. Okay. I hate to number and rank people, but when I say a 10, I'm saying not only face and body and everything is really attractive, but these are women who are accomplished. You see what I'm saying? Like, they own their own business. There are some who maybe run their family's business, or the one lady that is a frequent person on there is like an attorney or something. You got to date within your means. I don't care if the woman, where she's from. You got to date within your means. You cannot, be someone who is not compatible with someone and expect that. Now, do I think the vast majority of Asian women will go for a white guy? Absolutely. I've said that before. I mean, duh. Now, they will deny that, but the vast majority will go for white dudes. Even the ones who are very open-minded and believe in equal rights and all of that type of stuff, the vast majority will end up with a white dude. Period. They're never going to look in your direction. That's not the block of folks that I'm talking about, but that seems to be the block of folks that people are referring to. And you have some dudes that there's for whatever reason, and some of them it's a fetish, some of them it's a money game, some of them it's because that's what they grew up and that's all that they saw. Some of them are delusional, and some of them maybe are choosing white dudes because that's just what they're into. I don't know, don't care, right? That's just what it is. And if you're trying to make someone interested in you and they're not looking in your direction, you're really wasting your time, right? You're just wasting your time, because I can probably, if I had time to sit down and write it, I know at least 100 Asian women who are only interested in black dudes. And they're not all from the United States. The vast majority are from other countries. And some of them have kids by black men. Some don't. Some have never, ever, ever, ever dated a white dude. In fact, when I was married, the first person I was married to was from Hong Kong. She had never dated a white dude in her entire life. The guy prior to me was a black dude, and then there was me. So and she was someone who was very accomplished. She went to school in England and a private school up there and all this other stuff, right? So but if you come up to any woman with some stupid, corny pickup line, or you think that you're the shiz and you're not, then you're going to fall flat on your face. If you have expectations that are greater than what you are, then you're going to fall flat on your face. You have some dudes that, that's why I don't do the matchmaker thing. This one guy was telling me he wanted to build a chick. He wanted to tell me everything that he was looking for. And these were women who were very, very pretty. Very pretty. I know one of them. Very, very pretty. But then when you look at him, it's like, but y'all not equal. Like, I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but y'all not equal. I mean, here's an example. Paula Patton. I'd stand up and clap, but you guys won't be able to see. Paula Patton, okay? And Robin Thicke, okay? Back when they were together. That's equal, right? Both of them, if you saw them, you're like, okay, that makes sense. Like, all right, okay. But if you look at, who can I find? Let me see. Hold on. This is mean. Hold on. Hold on. Let me find somebody. Oh. So there's someone who is known by the name, who goes by the name of Beetlejuice. His real name's Lester Green, right? He's been on Howard Stern's show and all that. If Beetlejuice expects to get Paula Patton, I don't mean to be mean, but I'm just saying, like, come on now. Like, you gotta be kind of equal. You have a dude that's like, I'm not like cut, I'm not like Trey Songz or nothing, but you have some dudes that be carrying like a big old huge pot belly, way overweight, but they want a chick that's a size 2. And, it's all, now I'm not saying that that's not, you won't be able to find that, but you have some dudes that are just being, and there's some women like that. And I say the same thing, like, what are you bringing to the table? You really want a guy that, have 7 figures, but yet what do you bring to the table? Boobs and a butt? Anybody can get that. So it's like, you bring nothing to the table. Nobody's going to waste their time with you. And people talk about, well, how can people get like, who else is somebody that's super pretty? Like, what's her name? Let me think. Hold on. I forget her name. She's just ridiculously pretty. What's her name? It's probably over here. Nope. Where is it? Joanna Krupa. You guys probably don't watch Real Housewives, but I watched Real Housewives of Miami once. Joanna Krupa. My God. It's a sin. That woman is that pretty, but good God. Now, Joanna Krupa. If I went up and said, you know what, I want my woman to be Joanna Krupa, you know what I'm saying? That's good. That's a good goal to have. And some dudes can pull it off. But somebody like a Joanna Krupa, I don't have Joanna Krupa money. B, a chick like that, even if she was a gold digger, and she could be, I don't know. I'm not saying she is not. But somebody like that, it makes sense. If you're not the most handsome looking guy and you are trying to get a Joanna Krupa, you better be able to have a lot to offer financially. Now that may sound bad. But you can take a really ugly, unattractive dude, and if his bankroll looks good or he has enough behind him, he can get him. I'm looking at Joanna Krupa right now. It's like, God, the screen's about to catch on fire. But that might be the case. Every now and again, you may find a guy that is just average and he's got like a bad chick, right? That makes sense. But I guarantee you that he's got something going for him. Like, he's not just, the bare minimum. Some of these, again, with a lot of Asian women and Asian families, the expectation is college. So a lot of these women have went to college. So if you've never went to college, you're probably automatically out. Here's the first thing. If you're a black dude, or there's some Asian women that won't date Asian dudes, won't date Hispanic dudes, won't date black dudes, but they'll date white dudes or whatever. There's a whole combination all out there. There's a whole fit. But if you're trying to get a chick from Korea or Japan or wherever, and you come with a bunch of tattoos, more than likely you're that small crop of women who are saying, I'll date whoever's cool, or those who only date black dudes, about this big. Now, with all the tattoos, this one guy had tattoos on his face, it gets narrower. It just does. Then it goes by appearance. It gets narrower. Some dudes are kind of short. You might have chicks that want to do the certain height. It gets narrower. You don't go to college, or you haven't even been to college. It gets narrower. I'm stating facts. If you got kids with somebody else, it gets narrower. Now, I'm not saying that's always the case, but I'm just saying, like, in general, you got to think. And it depends. Different cultures. Asia has a lot of different cultures. Different cultures are different, right? What may be cool with someone from Thailand is not going to be cool with someone in Japan. You see what I'm saying? What might be kind of cool with someone in the Philippines might not be cool with someone that's in China. Everybody in these different areas, it's different. The expectations are different. The family dynamics are a little bit different. Society's different. Their socioeconomic situations way different. So you have to know that going into it. Now, there are some guys, and I'm not tooting my own horn, there are some guys that have been able to date women no matter where they're from, right? I've dated women that's from Japan a couple of different times. Dated women that were from, not Korea. Noelle was actually the first person, but she's Korean American. But Vietnam, Philippines, China, where else? I don't know, right? India, right? And so what I'm saying is you have to be able to bring something to the table. And that's not always economics. A lot of times it's being able to have a good conversation, being able to literally impress a person, right? And I don't think it's just exclusively tied to Asian women. I think it's women in general. Being able to really be a man and having a conversation, not about something that looks ridiculous. Again, there are certain things that are a turnoff to people. You may personally like it, like this beard. Some women, again, that list gets smaller. Even with Asian women, that list gets really tiny because there are some Asian women who are going to be like, I don't date a dude with a beard. Nope. Or you got a bald head? No. So it gets smaller, right? That's just how it is. If you have dreads and that someone may, or locks, someone may say, nah, I'm not interested. Right? It is what it is. Some people may not care, but the ones that don't care, it's a smaller list. The other thing is some people say, well, they're not interested in black dudes. They never do. Take a look at yourself. Be the best you. Be the best you. Because I know plenty of black dudes who are not the best looking guys, but never has had a problem with dating anybody. They've never had a problem. And it's not that these women are not attractive or not pretty or whatever the case may be, but they're not necessarily Joanna Krupa status or Jenny Mai, but they're average. If you're an average guy, you should be understanding you're going to probably get an average chick. If you get someone who's more than average, then good for you. But trying right out the gate to get someone who is way above average and you're not, then you're just kidding yourself. What you do for a living is important to any woman, because it's not so much about being a gold digger as it is being financially secure. A lot of women want to feel financially secure. They don't want someone who's in between jobs constantly, or you're barely making above minimum wage, or whatever the case may be. I'm not trying to down anyone. I'm not trying to be mean or cruel or an ass. I'm just saying, like, in general, a lot of times women want to know, like, hey, if I start a relationship with someone, I know that they're financially secure. That's something I don't have to worry about so much. That I know that we can have a family if it gets that far. We can have a family, and that'd be cool. That's most women on the planet kind of think that way, right? So whenever you're trying to go for someone who really is way out of there, and it's not like they're financially secure, might mean something different. Joanna Krupa's financially secure, and a guy might be, you have to at least make, or at least have a couple of million in the bank. I don't know, right? That counts a lot of dudes out. More than likely, she only goes for white dudes. That counts a whole bunch of other dudes out. So it is what it is, right? There's a pyramid. It's facts. Some of the dudes don't want to accept the fact that they're at the bottom, the big part of the pyramid. They don't want to accept that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of women who fit in the bottom of that pyramid too, based on many different things. And it's not about looks or anything like that. It's about a lot of different things. There are some of the prettiest people I know that have some of the worst self-esteem, right? I've said that before. So sometimes you can find a very attractive woman and she's never with anybody because people are like, there's something wrong there. Or there's things that person hasn't done to fix themselves, or there's a lot of this or a lot of that. So I disagree with that. I disagree that Asian women only want white dudes. There are those that do, absolutely. Do I think that there are more that do that want white dudes versus want black dudes? By far. That's a silly question, by far. And do I think that there are Asian women who have dated white dudes and then end up dating black dudes? Yes. And I think that Noelle's one of them. But she has dated black dudes before too. She was married to a white dude. And a lot of that is expectation, right? A lot of it is like, this is all I'm around. She was adopted into a white family. So all she's around is white people. You see what I'm saying? So some people, that's the case, especially with some Asian Americans. A lot of them are, the community that they're in is mostly white. So that's kind of some of it. But I know of Asian American women who are born and raised here, who date black dudes. I know adopted Asian American women who date and marry black dudes. I know women who are born in another country, lived in another country, and all they want to date are black dudes. I dated one from Japan like that. I know a few from Korea like that. These are pure facts. Facts. So a lot of times when guys say they're not interested in me or they don't want me, then look at you and ask that question to yourself. Why is that? Because it can't be the thousands and millions of women's fault. It's got to be you. Now, again, location counts. If you're in Buck Tussle, Kentucky, then yeah, that's a real place, by the way. You're never going to find an Asian chick that's going to be interested in you if you're a black dude. It's just, come on. You see what I'm saying? Or if you're like in, the South, chances are pretty slim. It's pretty slim, right? Location does matter. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's harder, right? Some of these places people live, it's pretty slim. In Houston, for example, right? Some people were talking about that in Houston. Houston has a big Black and Asian population. You might have better success. You might not. It's not going to be like it is on the West Coast, like it is in LA or in Seattle or Tacoma or, wherever. It's not going to be the same. Here, it's a lot easier. It just is. It's easier here than it is in other parts of the country. A lot of this is local history. You have to keep in mind too, a lot of it is like there's a lot of stuff that has happened in the past. People haven't got over it. On this side of the country, it's a little different. You see what I'm saying? Washington's one of those weird states, not a weird state. It's actually one of those states that's very open-minded to begin with. It's one of those states back in the day that even allowed interracial marriage when other states did not, when most states didn't. It was one of the few that did. It was the only one on the West Coast that did. So here is pretty open-minded. Versus if you go to, Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to Mississippi, it's going to be much harder. Most Asian women in Mississippi, if they're there, are going to go for either Asian men or white men. It just is. You see what I'm saying? Like location matters. If you're in the South, if there's an Asian chick, more than likely, if she's not with an Asian dude or goes with an Asian dude, it'll be with a white dude. 9 times out of 99% of the time. And they may be the most progressive and believe in equal rights and all that. But at the end of the day, that's where they're going to go. Worrying about that is similar to the guy, what we were talking about. There was dudes telling this Asian guy, this Japanese guy who's upset that black dudes, or this Japanese lady likes black dudes. He said he didn't like it. And they were telling him, why worry about something you can't change? Why worry about the things you can't change? I don't worry about the block of women, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, because there's some black women that won't date black dudes. I don't worry about those who don't like me. I don't worry about those who only tolerate me. I go with those who celebrate me. And there are Asian women, black women, white women, Hispanic women who do. And those are the ones that you should work, not the bulk over here that whatever. You have to worry about what is there. That's the first thing. Second thing is work on you. Why are you? And don't feel entitled. Some people feel in some of these Facebook groups, they feel entitled. Just because they show up to a group and there's women who have interest in black men, they feel like, well, any black dude will do. No, that's just not how that works. You see what I'm saying? Like, no. What do you offer? What do you bring to the table? That's what matters. And the same thing should be said to these women. Don't go for just, Joanna Krupa's bad. I can't use that as an example because she's just, she can have a horrible attitude and still it's like, I don't know. But anyway, you can't just go for what someone looks like and just say, whatever. They look good, so that's where I'm going to go. You need to make sure they're worth your time too. It's an equal thing there. You need to bring something to the table. They need to bring something to the table other than just looks. They need to bring things to the table. You need to have someone that you can vibe with. Because I tell you what, Joanna Krupa is not going to look like Joanna Krupa in another 30, 40 years. She's bad, but, look at Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren back in the day. Nowadays, it's facts, right? How that person acts, the way that they are as a person, that's what matters. You see what I'm saying? Because that is what you're going to have. Because the looks will fade. The looks will fade every single year. But who they are, the character of the person, that's what matters. It doesn't matter if they're a size 2. They could be a size 8 and be a hell of a person. But nah, because you want something that looks like a stick figure and yet you're bloated, it just doesn't make sense. You have to look at yourself and then evaluate that and go for someone who is going to compliment you. Anyhow, and compliment you, doesn't matter what race they would be. And if you have a preference and they happen to be Asian, cool. But don't sit there and have these preconceived notions and these fetishized views either, because that's not going to help you. And it could be that they're not digging you because maybe they sense that this is what that is. Unfortunately for, because there's some black dudes that feel this way about white women. They'll sit there and interview a white woman a lot in a date because they're like, I want to be a fetish. And sometimes Asian women are that way too, where they may ask you a lot of questions because they don't want to be a fetish. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you join the Discord down in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.